Hey everybody, welcome back to the Happy Harvest Homestead. I'm trying out a new feature on my new camera, which is the microphone. It looks like this. It's attached to a cord that I've plugged into the GoPro camera thing. I feel so fancy and like official with like an actual microphone thing. But this is my first time trying anything like this, so hopefully it turns out okay. The reason I'm trying this new feature now is because I have my old camera, or my old phone that I use as a camera right here. And even though I technically broke it, it didn't really like break entirely. It's just like part of it melted, so it won't connect to anything anymore. So I'm hoping there's enough battery left in here or whatever that I can recover the footage that I lost. But because the like actual non-connected camera volume is so quiet, I wanted to try the microphone, see if we can get it louder. So I'm going to attempt. Is it okay? I might be out of battery. See, the thing, like the USB-ish type port is all melted, so it won't connect to the computer anymore, but maybe it can still connect and charge? It's getting so old that it doesn't hold a charge very long. So maybe I'll try plugging it in to like the wall socket and see if it can charge, and then hopefully hold the camera as close as possible to the speakers over here on the phone itself and get some of the voiceover footage I have lost, because it was pretty good and I thought I was doing an amazing job, and I was really sad I lost it because I was flowing and I was explaining things and feeling passionate, so I don't want to lose all that and just like pretend to feel the same way I did then. So that is the plan, and hopefully the audio on this video is okay because I'm trying out the microphone. Do y'all see that red light? That's a good sign. It means it's charging, I think. I'll come check back later. Okay, it's been a little bit. Let me check and see. Yep, it's 19% charged. Thankfully it charged. Obviously that's not really like charged hardly at all, but I'm not going to use it for more than like 10 or 20 minutes, so it'll probably be just fine. Oh, let me grab the microphone so you can hear me and my old camera better. Okay, here I am talking into the microphone, and we will turn this on, and let's see. Where are the speakers on this? I think are back here. Okay, so I will hold this close to the microphone, and thankfully I was able to get like the B-roll, like visual part of the video filmed first. Then I was going to talk later, but in between those two times, the camera broke. So I'm thinking of just combining the two now and giving you the full experience of the video I had planned, and then coming back at the end to finish things off. Alright, here we go. Whoa, careful there. Hey everybody, welcome to the Happy Harvest Homestead. This was the funniest and most enjoyable thing that'll probably happen in this video, because I have some very sad news that may end up changing my Rabbitry forever, because I'm just fed up with terrible things happening, especially when they are 100% not my fault. In past years, I have made a lot of mistakes that have cost me greatly in rabbit lives and rabbit meat. While thankfully this year I finally was able to butcher 2 litters that were old enough, and we have a bunch more litters who will hopefully reach butcher weight soon and be butchered as well. Before that, it had been 3 years since I'd butchered any rabbits, because a mix of fate and my stupid mistakes would cause does not to get pregnant, or kids to die, or we had bad moms who killed their babies, or we had sickness that would kill rabbits. And I would fix one problem, and then a different problem would happen, and I'd fix that problem, and then another problem would happen. But this breeding season, which for us began very late in January and now has ended in June, has been really good. We've had a lot of successes, and obviously we've lost kits and we've had problems too, which I have documented and talked about in other videos. But for the most part, it's been a huge success, and I'm so happy. And I have made all the mistakes. I have learned what my mistakes were and what I did bad, and I corrected those mistakes, and it should be smooth sailing from here on out, and I should finally be able to enjoy the success I have worked so hard for. But I guess God has a different plan, because we now have Pasturella again. For those who are not following me in 2021, which was 2 years ago, you will not know the devastating heartbreak of a Pasturella epidemic hitting Rabbitry. Basically, Pasturella, or Snuffles as it's sometimes called, is a bacteria that lives in all rabbits, but if the bacteria level is imbalanced and gets too high, they will start presenting symptoms, which mainly consist of a lot of thick white snot in their noses, and they will be constantly sneezing it out, and supposedly, if the sickness has progressed enough to where you're seeing symptoms, there's really no way to reverse it, and your rabbit will die. And it's very spreadable, so if one rabbit has a high bacteria load, then chances are all the other rabbits will, if you don't quarantine them or kill them right away. And I learned this 2 years ago as I was desperately researching to figure out why my rabbits were sneezing white snot all the time, and what I could do to fix the problem. So I ended up having to cull most of my rabbits, which were 90% of my grow-outs, who were too small to butcher, so I had no planned on-purpose butcherings that year. A whole bunch of my breeders got sick, and I had to cull them, and a whole bunch of my really expensive, could have been super profitable, purebred French Angora baby bunnies, and a bunch of my Angora breeders who were really expensive, who I was using for fiber, also got sick. So I took a massive hit with both my meat rabbit production and my fiber rabbit production, and it was terrible, and it was miserable, and it just ruined the whole year. And the whole Pasturella epidemic began in the spring when I remodeled the colony. I had to take down all the walls and reconfigure everything. So to keep the rabbits from escaping, I moved them temporarily into cages for a day or two. And then it just so happened that at the exact same time, we had a huge cold snap. It was April, and it started snowing. And all the beautiful dogwood blossoms that were fully leafed out and had flowers and all got snowed on, and it looked really weird because our last snows are usually in February. So the rabbits went from living a normal life in their colony to the stress of being in cages, which was then doubled by the stress of a sudden weather shift, and tripled by the stress of being put back in a new colony when I finished remodeling it. And I put some new rabbits in the colony, so they had to re-figure out their entire pecking order. So all that stress compounded and caused some weak immune systems, which led to Pasturella and the subsequent devastation. And obviously I tried to keep my rabbits away from stress, like any good farmer would, but you really can't control all stress all the time on all your animals. But this time, I can't think of any huge stress that would cause this. It's like literally out of the blue. I mean, it's summertime and it's hot, but it's been 2 years since that happened, and it's been hot in summertime those years too. They're not stuck in tiny cages. They have a healthy housing space. I'm feeding them well. They have other rabbits to be friends with and be social with. We don't have any Constances or Elodies who are super mean and attacking people and being tyrants. Everybody's getting along fine. I'm keeping the colony extra clean and keeping their parasite load down. I haven't introduced any new rabbits to the colony. I haven't made any huge switches. I've been racking my brains, and I can't find a cause to pinpoint this Pasturella except for the heat, which hasn't been a problem in the past, but I guess God has just decided to once again just completely destroy my amazingly laid, exciting, successful plans. So obviously, with the PTSD from a couple years ago, I freaked out as soon as I saw it was Antoinette. She started sniffling and I saw white snot in her nose, so I freaked out and put her in an empty hutch to quarantine her right away. I didn't have a long-term plan. I just knew in that moment I needed to do something right away. So she's now in a quarantine cage. but I've had a few days to think about what I want to do long term. I've mentioned in other videos about my 3 pillars or legs of the bar stool, the Rabbitry goals I have. Number 1 is production, number 2 is sustainability / natural raising, and 3 is accomplishing those goals while being a good steward over the animals God has entrusted to my care. So, keeping all of this in mind, at this point I am just completely fed up with everything. I'm fed up with rabbits. I'm fed up with everything failing despite my insane efforts to not only try and fail once, and not only try and fail a second time, but a third, fourth, fifth, every single year. I have 3 or 4 chances to try and fail, and I have worked out all the kinks. I have made no mistakes this time. I am working my butt off trying to make everything work because I've went through the years of stress and struggle and failure, and I'm sacrificing a lot of things to make this stuff work, and it would be so easy to just stick everybody in a cage and feed them pellets, but I have these goals and dreams that I'm trying to stick to, and I'm trying to breed my own line of rabbits and fix things and make it better, not just go with the flow for short-term success. I want a long-term, sustainable, awesome stuff, because these animals are so amazing, because they can turn grass into meat, and they are super small and easy to house in cities or small spaces. You know, cows and sheep do the same thing. They turn grass into meat. But a lot of really small homesteaders can't have those on their property, especially if they're in a neighborhood or a city. And a lot of stuff people can have, like quail or chickens, they need grain to survive, and you have to buy the grain. But you can grow grass by yourself. So this has the possibility of being the key to be 100% sustainable. And the possibilities, oh my gosh, I see the possibilities in the individual rabbits and just the whole system, and this dream I've had for so long of, like, it's amazing what these animals are capable of if you do everything right. So I've been working at it, and I've figured out how to do everything right, and it should be working, it has been working, and now, again, circumstances beyond my control are saying, no, your dream is not going to work, you are going to fail again. But you didn't do anything wrong. You're just going to fail because you're supposed to fail, and you'll never have any success. And you've gotten a reprieve, and you've had 10 carcasses in the freezer, but that's all you get. You don't get to enjoy your other litters. You don't get to enjoy the breeders you worked on. Antoinette and her sisters, who are the 4th generation that you have been breeding and honing their genetics to be amazing, are just all going to get sick, and you're going to have to cull them all, and it's going to be miserable, and you're going to have to start from scratch over again. And there's no guarantees that you will succeed at all anytime in the future. Even if you keep doing everything right, it's likely that I'll just keep being beaten down, and I am fed up. I am honestly sorely tempted to just stop raising rabbits and focus on meat chickens, because last year we raised meat chickens and it was amazing. It was so easy. We already have a dual purpose breed, and we have roosters and hens, so we just took some eggs, stuck them in an incubator, hatched them, and we did that a couple times throughout the year, and it was amazing. We raised them, and they were healthy the whole time. We had so many, we ran out of space, and there was a lot of problems with housing, but we figured it all out, and we had so many chickens to butcher, and we've been enjoying eating these delicious chickens, and it was so successful. And in previous years, as we've done smaller batches, we've had success as well. And contrasting the process of raising dual-purpose meat chickens to raising the meat rabbits makes me think that maybe rabbits are just not cut out for us. But I've been gifted with this love and this passion, and I feel like I should pursue it because it's such a worthy goal. So in short, I've decided, against all advice from experienced people who have had Pasturella before, I'm just gonna let everyone live and see what happens, and be the hardy culler that I usually am. And if rabbits die, they will die by themselves. I will not treat them like I've done previously. If I am 100% certain they will die, then I will put them out of their misery, but I will wait till the very last second. Even if there's a shred of hope they could survive, I will keep them. Mainly because I am inspired by Acrobat's success story. She was literally on the brink of death, but while I did nothing the whole time, she brought herself back to health, and has since provided us with a bunch of babies that we have butchered, and some babies that we've kept, and now her babies are making babies, and if I would have butchered her sooner, we would have missed out on a wealth of production and benefit and amazingness. At this point, I really don't trust or believe the internet authorities anymore. From my personal experience, I found a lot of the pet blogs or vet websites are wrong, and even a lot of the traditional rabbit raisers are wrong, and a lot of the colony people even are wrong. Like, I can't find something niche enough that works with my setup. So here I am again, avoiding the main road, avoiding the gravel road, avoiding the dirt road, avoiding the deer trail in the woods, and just walking through, not grass, not weeds, but like literal bramble brush, trying to carve my own path, because I don't trust any of the other paths anymore. This is so frustrating. So if every single one of my rabbits die, I will just give up and stop raising rabbits and put all the time and energy and effort and sweat and tears and work and resources that I've been putting towards rabbits, I'll just put them towards meat chickens, and it'll be fine. We'll have lots of meat. Yes, we will have to feed them grain, and I'll have to get more creative with the sustainability side of it, but that would be much preferable to the constant failure I'm faced with rabbits. So today, the last of the colony babies, who are the remainders of the combined litter that Maria and Antoinette had, will be removed from the colony because they are now 4 weeks old and ready to wean. Then finally, King Henry, the breeding buck, who I've been holding in reserve and growing out to his full mature size and waiting for all the babies to be gone from the colony, who has amazing genetics and is super fast growing and puts on so much meat while eating our super natural free diet that historically produces slow growing rabbits, is going in the colony. Then Antoinette, the quarantined rabbit, is going back on the colony, and I'll let the hardy rabbits survive and the weak rabbits die, and I don't know, maybe all the internet people are wrong again and Pasturella is curable by itself, but if they all die, so be it, and I would just raise chickens instead. Okay, let's move these bunnies in. Alright, everybody is in their new housing now. I'm really hoping things go as well as can be expected. Of course, everything could fail terribly, but I can look on the bright side and remember all the times where I thought things would go bad and they ended up going good. And who knows, maybe that'll be the case with this setup too. So far, we still have a bunch of healthy rabbits. We have good breeders. We have lots of kits. All the babies are growing and getting more meat on their little bodies. Hopefully, we'll make it to their freezer before they get sick. And we have a bunch of breeders who don't have any stress on them right now besides the heat. They have no babies to grow inside of them. It is too hot for them to get pregnant. They have no stressful, immune-draining births to deal with. They have no nursing to worry about and put their nutrients towards. So I guess this is the perfect time to heal from illness or hopefully not get any illness. So I guess there is a chance that going through this trial by fire will just make our rabbitry and our core rabbits who survive this even hardier, even stronger, and even better for the future. That's what I'm hoping. Thanks for watching. Okay, that's the end of the video I had filmed. It's right after this that I discovered the melting and the rest of my night spiraled into chaos and sadness, even more than I already had. But that's the update, and so far things have been going okay. Antoinette is still sneezing, and I've seen a couple of other breeders sneezing, and a couple of kits sneezing, but I haven't seen any white snot besides Antoinette that one time. No one has died yet. No one is losing condition or acting lethargic. Of course, I will keep you all posted, and hopefully everything goes alright. Thanks for watching!